Hello and welcome to the show. Goodness me, I look very dark this morning, don't I? Let me pop the light on. How very bizarre. Is that better? That's better. Welcome to the Midday Show. Hello, greetings. And what we've got an absolutely fascinating show coming up for you today. And I'm very much looking forward to talking to this lady. So it's going to be one of those where I think we're going to be lots of nice questions and comments. So do feel free to get involved. And if you're watching the replay, I hope this gives you something very, very valuable, because we talk about well-being, mental health quite a lot on this show, particularly on the Wednesday edition. And we're going to talk about it today with Karen Wybrow. Hello, Karen, the Sacred Life Coach. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very good, thank you. I'm very, very good. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me. It's my
Welcome.
pleasure.
Sorry about the debacle last week. We had a bit of a scheduling debacle, but you were very forgiving about it, so thank you.
Yeah, no, it's not a problem. I've got a dog.
Now we've got an extra guest. Who have you got on your lap? Who's that?
This is Trevor.
Trevor.
He's been helpful.
I can't say. Is he a spaniel? Long-eared
Springer Spaniel, yes.
Springer Spaniel. Yeah, my friend's got two of those. They're feisty but very affectionate, I find.
They are very affectionate, but yeah, never grow up.
No, they don't. But maybe that's a good thing, given what you do. You know, an innocent perception. Just remind us of always looking for things to be happy about, I guess.
Definitely.
Tell us a little bit about you. How did you become a sacred life coach? I've had a look at your website and it looks really, really inspiring. I've got a feeling. Well, actually, no, because I've read your backstory. I mean, it started with a terrible experience, but you've rebuilt. And
yes.
I think this is going to be the major takeaway from today. Ultimately, an uplifting message that no matter what, writ big, even if you feel in the depths of despair, things can be and are rebuilt, and you can regain your mental health, your well-being, clarity, joy, your life. Tell us all about it.
So that's exactly what I do. So like you touched on, Neil, my story started, almost 10 years ago, I guess. My husband was diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer when we were 6 months pregnant with our youngest daughter. And we entered a complete roller coaster of chemotherapy, scans, all the things that go along with a cancer diagnosis that were a complete world away from this amazing life that we had growing inside me. And unfortunately, Ben died when Harriet was 13 months. So he had about 18 months from diagnosis. And that period was pure survival mode. I think you don't know. Obviously, you don't know what you don't know. But when you are thrown into that world, when you have no experience of it at all to begin with, it is just a complete, like literally one wave after another just coming at you.
Well, it is, and it's the fear of unknowing, and particularly what else you're going through at the time as well. It's situations like that I describe that as a learning curve. At the time, you are least mentally prepared for it.
I mean, I was trying to keep myself okay for the kids. We had another daughter who was 3 when Harriet was born, so I had 2 kids under 5. And I was thrown into widowhood and survival after being Ben's primary carer, basically, for that 18 months of his diagnosis and treatment. And it was hell. It was, looking back, it's kind of like, how do you do it? And people would say, oh, you're so strong and you're doing amazingly. But I didn't feel like I was strong or doing amazingly. I was just doing what I had to do to get through each day to survive, really.
In a situation like that, it literally is one day at a time. There's so many unknowns, and it's like you're racking your brain for solutions. There's a couple of times in my life, not the same situation, but and the brain's just not designed for that. The answer, you have to sort of almost, I don't know, allow it to unfold and sort of trust that somehow, some way it's very, very, it's dark. It's a very dark time. And my greatest fear about 5-6 years ago now is that I'd never find the light again, so to speak. That would be it. And I'd be stuck in this mindset, which at best was eternal. Nah, don't want to die, but don't really want to live either. That was about the worst I got. And at worst was just horrendous. Carry on. So I know what you mean. I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, so it isn't, and you sort of say one day at a time, but I think when you're in the depths, you can't see a day, can you? It's that moment, it's that literal, that next breath. And I need to pick Georgina up from school, I need to take Harriet to this baby group, I need to do, it's literally that.
And put on a brave face for the other little ones.
Yeah, and try not to break down because somebody smiles at me, or somebody says something to me, or I hear a song in the supermarket, or see Ben's favourite food, or all those things.
Easy to be triggered, absolutely, because that's the nature of grief. I mean, the grief comes in waves. You just think, oh yeah, I've got this, and then suddenly out of nowhere, bang, right? That's
and you're on the floor and. Yeah, you're howling. And the kids are looking at you, going, "What is wrong with mummy? And you're like, "It's okay, girls. I'm really sad, but it needs to come out. We can't hold it in, because we know our bodies literally keep score, don't they? They hold everything. So
and there's books written with the same title, and it's right to let it out. I mean, my daughter's a lot older than yours. I mean, she was an adult when I was sort of going through my stuff, but and she was fantastic, but I was always very honest with her, but also made it clear that it wasn't on her shoulders to find a solution. Because quite simply it wasn't. It just wasn't possible that it was anything to do with her. And actually just her being her was enough. And actually when she was, because we didn't live together, and because I say she's older than yours, and when she would come over, it gave me in a very small way a purpose for the day. Ashley's coming over, right? What do I need to do? Right, tidy the place up, which back then was chuck everything in the room that I'm not using. Bit of a permission slip to be lazy as well at times for me.
And that's okay. I think we need to do what we need to do, don't we?
Yes, it is okay, and that's the point. It is bloody okay, and it also is true that you were doing remarkably well, but you don't feel that way at the time. No. And sometimes it takes a trusted confidant, someone you really, of those 5 people we can count on one hand who you can tell them anything, and they can actually. Because they're not involved in it, they can see the wood for the trees, and they go, actually, if you look at it that way, you are doing well. And sometimes it's a revelation. It's like, what am I? What, really? Isn't it? Well, I don't feel like it, but it remains true that you are. But anyway, you were saying,
and I think it was my kind of the first 10 months after Ben died. I think I don't really remember much of it, because it was just that constant. My brain couldn't take it in. It was too big. It was too overwhelming. And it was literally that one foot in front of the other. But about 10 months after he died, I had all these firsts coming up. So the first time we were told the treatment wasn't working, that the cancer had got worse, that he was in a he couldn't walk, so we had to use a wheelchair, that he wasn't able to have chemotherapy because he wasn't well enough, like when he went into hospital, and the trauma around that, all these like significant dates coming up. And I thought, if I carry on the way that I'm going, I'm just going to drink myself through all of them, because I had this permission slip. And I had no off switch, because one glass of wine wouldn't have done anything. It wouldn't have taken the edge off it.
And there would be so many negative anniversaries, wouldn't there?
Yeah. So I was like,
so what happened? So were you drinking at this point a bit?
I was drinking, I wasn't drinking a huge amount, but just like a few glasses of wine when the kids were in bed.
Easily done. Yeah. Couldn't judge anyone for that. It's and it does relax you for a bit. It's a temporary solution, certainly not a long-term one, as many people have found. Yeah.
And so I was like, so what do I do? Do I carry on and kind of almost drink my way through these? So I'm numbing, which is all I was doing with alcohol. It was numbing the feelings. Or do I stop? And I stopped. And haven't drank since. So that's like 7.5 years ago now.
Good for you.
I've not found a reason to go back to it. So I had all these firsts coming at me, and I was feeling it all for the first time, probably for a very long time. And it was just a case of, it was almost like, we talk of like onions in healing and things, don't we? It's like you peel one layer back and you peel one layer back. And it was like just a completely raw, exposed, what? Help, how do I do this? And it was from there that when I actually allowed myself to feel and allowed myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do, even just like one day, me and the kids went to the zoo early in the morning for breakfast with the animals, like feeding the animals. We got the opportunity to feed the animals. If I'd have been drinking, we wouldn't have done that because it was on a Saturday morning. So obviously it was Friday. So everyone has a drink on a Friday. So, you know, I mean, just little things like that aren't really significant, but were huge at the time because gave me
they are. It's the healthy. It's the healthy alternatives, isn't it? Yeah. And you're right. It is allowed. Whatever you want to do, it's allowed. These are not normal circumstances.
No, exactly.
Therefore, we do need to do something different. The old routines, habits simply can't work anymore. Yeah. So but well done for not defaulting to the easy way out, because understandably, but so many do. Many do.
No, they do. And I mean, I know that my life,
maybe not drink, but pick a favorite, you know.
Yeah, it's like scrolling, eating, there's
scrolling, eating, working, drugs, porn, you name it. Yeah.
All just a way to numb the feelings that we don't want to look at, isn't it?
But the trick is to feel them, isn't it? That's the thing. It's like mindfulness teaches, it's turning towards it and being with it. And that's not easy when, if you were like me, you think, I'll never find the joy again. I'll never find the light again. You think, I'm turning towards that. That's going to suck me into the abyss even more.
It's going to be even darker and darker and darker.
It's going to overwhelm me. And I don't know if I can, but that doesn't happen, does it?
No.
Generally.
That awareness, there's so much power in awareness. Well, there is, isn't there? It is that awareness to see that everything happens in cycles and that things come and go, but that isn't just something that happens overnight, is it? It's a practice, and
that takes what I would call quite a high level of spiritual maturity.
Yeah.
And I don't mean spiritual as leaving as the big bloke in the sky on the cloud that, you know, is a cop at best and you know, a bit of a and not a very nice one at worst. This is proper full on awareness. Spirituality, isn't it? And obviously that's the route you've gone, because you wouldn't call yourself the sacred life. I saw a lovely meme once. It says, scared is what happens when sacred gets messed up, because it's an anagram.
It's very true. Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it?
It's moving from fear to love, essentially, isn't it? So what did you study? Because I've read an awful lot of these books, and some really appealed to me and really touched me, and some I was like, oh, I can't do that, that's too complicated. Where did you start? I read Conversations with God, which is an extraordinary book. Have you read that one?
I've not read that one. No, I'll have to look it up.
Neil Donald Walsh. Oh, it's a lovely series of books, and I'm not religious, but it's spiritual. It's not religious, and obviously we're both very clear on the difference. How about you then?
Yeah. So I started, I did a certification in life coaching. And from there, I went into all sorts of kind of law of attraction and manifestation workings. And
so you've seen The Secret then?
yes, I don't think I've seen this. I haven't seen it. I've read the book. I've got the book. Yeah, I've read the book. And also just that whole, that we co-create ourselves. We are the creator, aren't we? We can
Of ourselves.
Yeah, of ourselves. We can co-create. We do.
And here's the
co-create
kicker: if
our
we want the
reality.
world to change, we've got to change.
We have to change first.
And that is sometimes more or less easy to do, depending on what the circumstances are at the time. And I think that's what The Secret didn't really. The Secret kind of, it was a bit Hollywoodized.
Yeah.
And Rhonda Byrne, she did a great job. But they got all the big names there, including Abraham Hicks, if you're familiar with them.
Yes.
You're familiar with Abraham, but they got cut out the original of The Secret for copyright, which really bothered Esther, and Abraham didn't care, as they wouldn't. Abraham saw a million opportunities, but Esther didn't at that time. And Bob Proctor and what's his name, John Assaraf, people like that. But they made it sound terribly easy. But manifestation, I've understood it, or self-knowledge, self-awareness, is a process. Or you've got to be gentle with yourself in the process, but it is a process. It's not like Shazam, it's done overnight.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to sit and think happy thoughts and a Ferrari will appear on my drive.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Well, it never did me.
No, we need to take that aligned action, and all we're doing when we're talking about manifestation is we're putting our intentions out there into the universe, and the universe is a mirror, so we will get those back. But we need to take the aligned action. We can't just, it's not just a, like you say, a wish.
Well, also, if there's split energy, my coach, wonderful guy called Nick Breau, Bieau, he does wonderful work on this kind of thing, and he has a Zoom call every couple of weeks, and it's extraordinary. You've probably seen it in your work. Suddenly you ask the right probing questions, and then years just come off people. And that is just so sad. And if when you're in a group setting, and of course everything everyone brings to the table, that for that moment, that collective, even if it's 10 people on that entity of consciousness, whatever you want to call it, between those people, it expands, and all the expansive insights are available to everyone. Now I'm sounding really new age and woo woo, and our other guest in the green room's thinking, what a bloody weirdo, I've got to come on this show in a minute. But no, I mean, but it really was, that was my experience last night. It really is quite phenomenal when it's really good, but you do have to dig into your shit as well. You can't just, because we manifest more of what we are, not what we want. So if we're saying all the affirmations, all the I'm worthy, I'm enough, but deep down our subconscious mind's going, no, you're not. Remember that time 6 years ago you did that thing, or you said that, and those people looked at you. And if your subconscious mind is still the inner critic, him.
So that's one of the reasons why I went down the hypnosis route. So I use rapid transformational therapy to look at mindset, to really,
what's her name, Marissa Peer?
Marissa Peer's
she's
methodology. So I use that to look at those stories that we tell ourselves, because our subconscious mind runs more than 95% of our what we do every single day. And
it is a story that we're ultimately telling ourselves. It's really what we believe about ourselves, isn't it? And you can never, and going in and getting those old beliefs, you do need a good modality for it. Hypnosis is good. NLP with a good practitioner can be good. The law of attraction calls that I go to, they're very, very good. And there's a lot of junk out there as well.
There is. And it's, I mean, I'm a scientist. I'm an environmental chemist by trade, if you like. That's what my degree is in.
What is an environmental chemist?
We look at chemistry so we work out exactly what things do in the environment, when they're released, so like everything that we use, what happens to them in the world that we live in. So from a commercial point of view, I would work with developers looking at ground and groundwater before they built houses, whatever they were going to build. We would look at the ground and see what impact it would have on human health and the environment.
So a big ecology check, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. But looking at the chemistry and how it would affect the building as well, because obviously some chemicals.
Yeah, that too. Oh, interesting. And I suppose having a good scientific, because science and spirituality are not mutually exclusive.
No,
you go up to sort of quantum levels, and it's different language for exactly the same bloody thing.
Yeah,
at a certain level.
Exactly.
But lower down the levels, it's like, no, we're right. No, it's like creationism versus evolution, and never the twain shall meet. And it's like, no, go to the center of the wheel.
Go to the actual, proper molecular quantum level, and
so go to the source. Go to the center, not the spokes. Every spoke thinks it's unique. It's not. It's all got a connecting hub.
So all of my woo-woo, all of my things, so like the hypnotherapy, like the Reiki, the EFT, it's all based in science. So I can
and that's
tell
good
you
for our Western
how
mindset,
and why it works.
It's good because us here in the West, we like the science. I think some of the greatest things that ever happened in that field was Oxford University studying mindfulness and treating it seriously. I mean, if Oxford had taken it seriously, there's got to be something in it. And Michael Neal as well, I think he's lauded as one of the greatest things to happen to the three principles teachings, because Michael Neal is brilliant. His talks, they're just absolutely fantastic. So what do you do? So you went through hypnosis, cleared out the gunk in the subconscious, and then what?
Then I was like, oh, this actually works. So I need to look into it a bit more, and that's when I trained in that modality myself, and started working with other, mostly widows, people who were struggling, widows, people who've been through trauma, any transition really, because we sort of forget that grief is obviously a natural part of life anyway, but there's many different sorts of forms of grief. It's not just that actual death.
Could be losing a job.
Losing a job, a divorce, that causes grief. It's different types of grief, but there's still grief. So I started working with people who were struggling really, and I'd resisted Reiki for quite a long time. I first had Reiki when Ben was in the hospice. There was a Reiki practitioner who came into the hospice, and I had a Reiki session, and I didn't I just did it, if you like. I didn't really know what to expect or anything. And it was something that I always thought, I'll go back to that at some point. And it wasn't until probably about 3-4 years ago that kind of everything aligned and fell into place. And I started Reiki for me, so to become attuned to Reiki. And it's such a beautiful modality, and it is like, my clients will come and they'll be like, I don't know what you've done, but it is magic. And I'm like, well, yeah, it is magic. It just that softening and that release of anything that is no longer serving us, and we don't have to be aware of it, aware of what it is.
It's very gentle, and I think in science speak, it puts us in the parasympathetic nervous system.
That's exactly.
So that's where all healing happens. And I would wager, I'm not scientifically trained, I would wager even things like spontaneous remissions and things like that. Somehow that person got into an allowing state or a parasympathetic state, and that's what made the difference. Even taking placebo pills has done it with people. If they believe it,
exactly.
If you ever watched Darren Brown Miracle, where he's a self-proclaimed fake, have you seen that?
I haven't seen it. No,
it's incredible. It just demonstrates the power of the human mind.
The nocebo effect is just phenomenal, isn't it? The
nocebo and placebo. He typical Darren Brown. Us, the audience watching, are in on it. but the studio audience are not. And he's convinced them, because I think they were quite religious sensibilities. He's convinced them that he's an evangelical healer. I'm going to lay the hands on and praise the Lord and all that sort of thing. And he's a fake. And he's told us he's a fake. And yet, chronic pain that's been there 10 years has gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go figure.
I know.
And
yeah.
if a
It's
fake
that mirror,
can do that,
isn't it?
just imagine what. Right?
Yeah. It's phenomenal, isn't it? I know. It's just, and that's what we forget as humans, don't we? That the things that we tell ourselves are what we get back. That the universe is just a mirror, and our mind is just this big computer going, right, what's she looking for? What's she looking for? Oh yeah, she wants more evidence that she's doing well, or she wants more evidence that she's crap. It's like, and I'll give her more of that then. That's what she wants. And we forget, don't we?
It seems that you've remembered.
Yeah. Yes, I do. But it's a practice, isn't it? It's like everything that we do someday.
How is life for you now?
Life is good. So I've just completed my book, which is really exciting. So I've got my book, One Sacred Life, that's coming out on the 1st of December, which talks about my story, but it also talks about my kind of, one of my big ethoses. Is ethoses a word? One of my big ethoses is
it's not, but we knew what you meant. It's all right.
Exactly. We're going with it anyway.
Yeah, we're going with it. I'm not a language pedant. Carry on. You can have as many ethoses as you like. Should be ethos-I, probably, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it probably is, isn't it? It doesn't sound as good, does it?
No, it doesn't. Ethoses. I'll have an ethos if I want. I'll have as many as I want. Go on.
Is that we don't have time. We don't prioritize time. We all have time, but we don't prioritize time to do that long meditation, to do all those things, those self-care things that we know potentially could help us. So I break them down into tiny sacred things.
Doable bits, yeah.
Yeah, into doable bits. And it's those.
And anything can be sacred, can't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
stirring your coffee in the morning.
It's the attitude you bring to it, isn't it? That makes it. I'm washing the dishes. This is my time. I'm I don't know, having a bath. Whatever. Yeah,
it's like looking out the window and coming back to your senses while you're doing these things. The things that we have to do or choose to do. Again, it's language, isn't it? And how we perceive them, these things that we choose to do. It's like, well, I'm washing the dishes, but I've been able to feed myself and my family, and I'm grateful for that. So it's how we look at things. So the book includes some of these rituals, which, like you say, a ritual is just a habit that we do repeatedly.
Indeed, and anything that pivots you towards the positive. I learned on the call I went on last night. He called it the prosperity pivot, and he took the simplest things. And I'll just share this now because it's worth sharing. Oh, we could talk all afternoon, couldn't we? I'm going to invite you back though, just before your book's released. We'll do a little.
Perfect.
If you'd like to come back on, we'll do a little pre-release special episode.
Perfect. Oh,
and
lovely.
You'll be able to hold the book up at that point, I hope, and I can take a screenshot. And there we go. And he said, when you fill up your gas, he's Canadian. When you fill up your gas, he says, do you feel negative? Oh, I can't afford this. It was all about prosperity and money last night.
Yeah.
Which is important, by the way, as part of a healthy lifestyle. Not all of it. It's just all balance. Do you feel neutral? Or do you feel, wow, I've got a full tank of gas. This is brilliant. I can afford this. It's more where that came from. I've got a full tank of gas. It's dark and I'm wearing sunglasses and I'm on a mission to have fun. You know what I mean? What's the attitude behind it? And most people are kind of neutral or a bit negative. And then he did the prosperity pivot. He said, stop. Next time you do something simple where you spend a bit of money, identify which state you're in, move to the next one. So if you're feeling negative, neutral, don't really care. Or, wow, I'm abundant. And then do it. And he called that the prosperity pivot. And the more you do that, the more it will rewire into your nervous system. And then you'll start to look and see for prosperity. And when you start to look and see it, you'll see more of it, because that's what you'll be.
Yeah, that's what your mind will be looking for.
Training your mind to look at. And again, there's science on this. It's called the reticular activation system, I do believe.
Yeah. Yeah, and it works with the neuroplasticity of your mind.
The neuroplasticity of the brain
Yeah,
and
to
mind.
reprogram it. It's like the highways that we're on at the moment, where we may be looking for or thinking, oh God, I need to buy this or I need to spend this money. That's like the highway now, and we want our prosperity highway to be that little rabbit track that's off to the corner. The more we use that track, the more that becomes the highway, and the old way of seeing everything as money going out and draining will slowly become the rabbit track. But it's practice.
Another thing we were taught last night was that prosperity isn't something you attract. It's not something you manifest. It's just something that is, and you circulate.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
It's
there all the time. It doesn't. The amount of, let's say you could add up the amount of money in the United Kingdom, which everyone has collectively, and we'd probably go, oh my God, that's an awful lot. You know what I mean? And we'd also probably go, oh my God, there's plenty for everyone. And we'd all probably stop worrying about it a bit more. And then if it would just circulate, it's like a store. The more stock a store goes through, the more prosperous that store is. It's not about having more stock than any other shop. It's about how much you circulate and the process goes.
Yeah.
And if you go to the Latin of, I think the word affluence, it's affluere in the Latin, which means to flow. Yeah. Like a river to flow. Obviously, I'm saying this for the benefit of people tuned in. You know this stuff back to front, I'm sure.
No, it's all really, really true. And on the same topic, I can't remember. Yesterday, I saw a reel of somebody who said, when you go into your bank account online, because obviously we do so much online, don't we? It's like, how are you feeling when you open that? Are you in that, oh my God, what's it going to say? Or are you feeling that, like, right, I'm safe, it's okay, I have plenty, that I have more than enough, and getting into that before you even go into it. So like, just put your hand on your heart, take a breath and go, I'm safe.
Again, a prosperity pivot.
It's
a prosperity pivot, and it is a practice. So my key takeaway from talking to you, and you're a really inspiring lady, if I can say that without sounding like a patronizing fool, but you really are, and you're living proof. And I love it when we get people on like yourself, because you've been there, you've done it, you've worn the t-shirt, and you're living proof that lives can be rebuilt and happiness and well-being can be achieved again, no matter what. And our lives can be useful, fun, dare I say, joyful again, and that's wonderful. So well done. And thank you for the work that you're doing. If people would like to, is that you?
Yes, that is me. Thank you.
If people would like to learn more, Karen Wybrow, all W's, KarenWybrow.com. Now, can we, if you've got a moment, are you free on Monday, December the 1st? Is that the day the book's out?
Yes, it is. So that would be perfect.
Would you like to come back on then?
Yes, I would love to. That would be amazing. Thank you.
It's a date between you, me, and the listeners, so to speak. So I'm going to put you in there now.
12 o'clock.
Pardon?
12 o'clock. Or
12 o'clock. And I expect a copy of the book, which you can hold up on the screen and show off to everyone.
Yes, I shall send you a copy of the book as well.
Oh, I would love that. Thank you very much indeed. And in return, I shall send you a copy of this footage, which you can use for any shameless means. So I've got your email address, haven't I? So I'll transfer it over to you later. I'm going to bring on our next guest now.
Thank you.
You are very welcome to stay. No hard feelings if you need to go. Absolutely fine. You want to stay and chip in and enjoy the chat with the three of us, you'd be more than welcome. And welcome Lizzie Lehman to the show. Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much. It's really lovely to be here.
I hope we didn't go too woo-woo for you in that first half an hour.
Not at all. That was really inspiring, your story, Karen, and what you've achieved from that as well. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. It's very much about how we look at things in life and our outlook, and trying to stay as positive as possible, really.
And I think our media needs to reflect this as well. I think if there's more media like this, but they've tried to do it before, ladies. They've tried to do good news media, good news newspapers, and you know what? People didn't want it.
Yeah.
It's it really, really, yeah, we all like a bit of drama. Yeah, I love a good thriller, but in real life, I like to keep things a bit more positive if I can. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Well, we'll have a chat with Lizzie. As I say, Karen, you're very welcome to stick around. I'm going to change the configuration a little bit. I'm going to put you there. I'm going to put me and Karen in the corner. Book club buddies.
Book club buddies. Yes.
What's a book club buddy when it's at home, Lizzie Lehman?
Book club buddies. Well, what we do is we run interactive online book clubs that are specifically for primary school children and are guided by teachers. And the premise behind it all is about wanting to get children excited about reading and loving books. That's what it's all about, and that's why I started the business, and it's been growing ever since. And it's just something that I love to do, and I'm very passionate about. So I'm really excited to be here to be able to talk about it.
I do love a passion project. Who was your favourite authors when you were growing up? Because I can tell you mine immediately.
Probably, I mean, when I was younger, I liked Roald Dahl and Judy Blume.
Me too.
You like Roald Dahl?
Love Roald Dahl.
I mean, what was your favourite book? What was yours of his?
Well, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Absolutely.
Okay,
then it was Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. But then I did quite enjoy James and the Giant Peach as well, I have to admit. And then as I got a bit older, the Tales of the Unexpected.
Okay.
They were really, really good. They're worth digging out. Did you ever see any of those, the Tales of the Unexpected?
Don't think so.
Do you not remember that? Do you know? I think I'm showing my age. Do you remember these, Karen? Tales of the Unexpected. Oh, they were great. They're this really bizarre theme tune. It was and it was like two women sort of shadow dancing, and they were like, I would describe them as sort of deliciously dark tales, if you like. It was like the dark side of Roald Dahl, but really delicious as well. Can't even think of a comparison. Tim Burton-ish.
Okay.
I think someone can be dark but delicious at the same time, but that's not a good comparison. It's the closest I can get. Anyway, and C.S. Lewis was my other one. I love Narnia.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
So you were Roald Dahl and who else?
Or Judy Blume. I didn't read a huge amount. I was a bit of a reluctant reader, and that's also one of the reasons why I've been. My history is that I've been a teacher for about 20 years, a primary school teacher.
Right.
And I could see that children weren't picking up books and being inspired by reading as much as they used to be, I think. And my son also was a bit of a reluctant reader. And the only way I could get him to read more was by reading with him and talking about the book and discussing the book. And then he was happy to read. And it was kind of during lockdown when I was working with children online in my class, but obviously on the screen, and I could see that they were able to communicate and discuss things. And I thought, actually, do you know what? I could start a business this way and get children excited about books. And now I've got children from all over the world joining up. So, it really sort of it's just a fantastic opportunity where we get to read a whole book together as a small group, and learn so much from all these different books. We get to explore big themes like you were talking about earlier, Karen. The fact that, these experiences that happen in life, and that children sort of experience them too in their own way, but it's an opportunity for them to explore these through books and through stories such as loss and bullying and differences and things like that we have an opportunity to talk about. And from children from all different walks of life, from different places and different areas. And, I've got children yesterday that were from America that were joined up, and children from Scotland and all over the place. So, yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I'm so
it is. I mean, earlier I was talking, as you heard, to Karen about being in a group setting, and the power of what you're doing is just magnified by that. And interestingly, I read this in the latest Paul McKenna book. If there's a group of people watching something positive that they're enjoying as a collective, even if they're not there like watching a football match, for example, but it could just as easily be a book club or a law of attraction call. Serotonin increases in the brain just by people being focused on the same thing, even if they're not in the same place. So
it's a shared experience, isn't it? It's having that shared.
It's a good shared experience, and these concepts. I think most of us are fairly bereft on how to deal with these big things in life. No one was really taught. We just inherit the neurosis of the last generation. So if people, if there's a a solution to that, and young people can be taught young to at least know it's all right to have these feelings, and I suppose particularly for young people not to take it on as they've done something wrong, because young people tend to do that. It was my fault if bad stuff happens. So you're exploring the big thing. So what sort of books do you read? Tell me.
We read all different books because they change every half term, so they run during the school term time. So I'm reading. I've literally, I feel like I've got a children's bookshop around me. I'm very lucky. I've got hundreds of books all around me. So Letters from the Lighthouse by Emma Carroll. I've got. You can see the screen behind me, The Wolf Wilder. So every time we run book clubs, we always put the book as the Zoom background. So this is one of the books. Catherine Rundell, fantastic author. That's one of the books I'm reading. And they change depending on the age of the child. So I have books that obviously for the younger years, for years 1 and 2, books for years 3 and 4, and books for years 5 and 6. So I've got many different books. Phil Earle, I've done Max and the Million. I could throw millions of titles at you, and they all have amazing stories because I spend my whole time reading, which is a sort of the form of mindfulness in a way. Bringing it back to what you were saying, Karen, when you were talking about mindfulness, because I don't get a huge amount of time for that, but I feel that sort of reading is a sort of, I get a little bit of it with that.
Definitely.
We have to be in the moment, don't you, and receptive, and it's definitely true that I think your own imagination is more powerful than, because whenever something gets made out of a book, sometimes it's not as good.
Yes.
Sometimes the film version isn't as good because you've already got a perfectly good film version of it in your mind, and it's like, no, that's not what that person's supposed to look like.
No, well, I often tell children, try not to watch a film until you've read the book. Read the book first, and then you can watch the film. And yeah, that's what I often.
Although they did do one of the more recent Narnia films very well. It was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and that was very well done. That was very, very, very close to the book. Can't remember when that was out, a few years ago. So you've got plenty of books on it's all for children, is it? It's all for primary school children, because I want to get them involved and excited about reading. So much of the time now in school, it's all about testing and this sort of rigid way of learning. And they see reading as a chore. And I wanted them to understand that actually they don't have to read for a test and to pass exams and that sort of side of things. I wanted them to read because they're excited about it and because they find it fun. Which is unfortunately not how it is anymore in school. I mean, when I first started teaching, I used to have plenty of time to read with the children in class, and they loved it. They got so much out of it. But, as the years went on, there was just less and less time and much more pressure on these children. And I wanted to come away from that and sort of start showing them that actually books are a wonderful opportunity to explore. No, I think that's profoundly wise as well, because you're in the school system, I'm not, but I imagine it is very, is it Ofqual? No, is it Ofqual, the regulator?
Ofsted.
Ofsted, sorry.
Ofsted.
Ofsted,
yeah.
No, maybe I just made that up. But it's all very tick box, and it's all very left brain.
Absolutely.
And it's all
about
very
targets.
And it's targets and testing, and to do something where there isn't a right or wrong answer. Absolutely. I'm not saying there's not a place for targets and testing. I'm not saying there isn't a place for the logical brain. Of course not. However, to make that, as Einstein said, the master, not the servant, is not necessarily wise. And I've been a passionate believer in this for years. Education should be fun.
Absolutely. Children learn when they're having fun. And this is fundamentally the most
science is out. Fun is productive.
Clubs.
Pleasure, happiness, and fun are productive. And they've done tests that people that are having pleasure, happiness, and fun get more done and are much happier in the workplace, are much more mentally healthy. There's nothing not to like about it. And the science is out now. This is now provable.
Well, the curriculum is needing a major overhaul and an overview. And I know the government are looking into it, and they have actually just published another paper at the beginning of this month.
Oh, right.
But they are, again, though, promoting more testing, which is just not what it should be about. There should be the word fun in there, and it really isn't. I mean, they are talking about improved oracy skills, and the reading framework is all about promoting reading for pleasure, but yet they're not giving teachers the opportunity and the space and the time to put that into the school day, so that children can just relax and enjoy it. So this is what this is all about, Book Club Buddies. It's about making reading fun. And in fact, actually, on my buddy guide at the bottom, the last thing I've got there, that is put "have fun" in capital letters, because I want children to have fun. I want them to enjoy the experience. I want them to go away and go, "Oh my goodness, I can't wait to talk about it with this group of other children."
Well, I mean, I hate to state the bleeding obvious, but if education was fun, you'd have the opposite of a truancy problem. You'd be trying to get them out, not trying to keep them in. You'd be like, guys, it's 8 o'clock in the evening. You got to go home now. And there's so many teaching aids that could be so much fun, like virtual reality, for example.
Oh, absolutely.
That 360 brilliant virtual reality. Bring that into the classroom. Go inside a human body and have a look around. And I've got to plug in my computer. Can you just bear with me for 1 second, please? I should do this before I come on air. Hold on. You can study my bookshelf quickly.
Oh. My eyesight's not good enough, unfortunately.
No, it's too far away, isn't it? Yeah, my 9-year-old would love your book club, because it is. She reads with me, and we read most days. But it's hard getting them into that habit of doing it.
It is hard. And I think as well for parents, particularly nowadays, there's so much pressure with them, with everything else that they have to do. And, when kids are little, I mean, I've got two myself. And when they were little, I used to read with them, obviously, every single night. Because it was fun to read a whole story. And the Julia Donaldson books are just incredible. And I really enjoyed that, and sharing the pictures and the illustrations in the book and the rest of it. And then as they got older and they sort of went to primary school and they started getting their own chapter books, and they were like independent readers, if you like, they kind of go off on their own. And, both parents often are working and they haven't got the time. And it's not as fun necessarily to listen to a random page of a book where you're not invested in the rest of the story and what's going on. So you're like, but you're not necessarily listening as well. It kind of takes that pressure away from the parents by having this, so that they have this opportunity to work with an adult who obviously understands the best bits that they can take out of the story for the children, and to manage the small group, so that they have this opportunity to actually really discuss the book in detail, and read a whole book over a 5-week period, which is how long the book clubs run.
And I imagine it brings the joy back into teaching as well.
I love it. I love it.
Box ticking, it should be fun. Maybe we should say education should be fun for all concerned, and that includes the teachers.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because the pressure, it goes to them, but then it comes to us, and it's unfortunately it's a real broken system, and there need to be a lot of changes, because it's not working for the children. It's not child-centered enough. And
ironically,
isn't it? It really is.
Elephant room.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said,
Philip Harling says, I think Jackanory. Do you remember that? You're probably too young to remember Jackanory, aren't you?
I'm 47. I'm not that young. Well, nearly 47. So but I didn't really read Jackanory. No, I didn't really know Jackanory.
It was a children's program. It was on after. Oh God, I'm showing my age. There was Play School, which I hated, and then there was something else on after that, and then it was Jackanory. I remember, and it was basically a famous author. So it might have been, I don't know, Tom Baker, who was Doctor Who at the time, reading a children's story. It introduced a lot of different authors to me, other than the usual famous 5. Now, famous 5 are welded into my head: Julian, Dick, Anne, George, and Timmy the dog. They were the famous 5. That stuck. You're nodding. You remember that one, Karen? Having read stories with enthusiasm. Here we go. Having read stories with enthusiasm. There we go. That's the key word, isn't it? Certainly sold it. Sold it to me. And that's right, because if I was reading a good book when I was young, if I was into one of the Narnia stories or something, I couldn't wait to get back to it. And I'd pick up the page and I'd be just immersed in the story again. And, C.S. Lewis, like the great author he was, drew me in. It's like, wow, what's gonna happen?
Absolutely. Definitely that's something that's makes it so exciting, is when people are excited about wanting to carry on reading and continuing the story. And they do get to do that in between, because they're Zoom calls once a week, so they read independently in between each Zoom call, because we send them a hard copy of the book. So they're actually reading from the book itself and highlighting key vocabulary. So we send them a special pen with a highlighter on the end as we're reading. So if we come across these fantastic words, rather than just skip over them, we just talk about them. But again, in a relaxed way, they're not having to write sentences about it or, pass an exam at the end. But obviously, it's important to bring these words up and to talk about them.
Wouldn't it be interesting to, if there was a sort of scientific study, I bet it's been done, or something similar, where they're teaching the old way, shall we say the left-brained way, and compare it against what you're doing, and then see who retains more information and who learns more.
Absolutely.
And I bet I would lay a week's money on it, that you would win hands down. Ian in sunny Surbiton. When my son was a toddler, we took him to the library every week, loaned books, read to him, bought him books that he grew into. Lol. Now he's 29. There are books everywhere, and he even writes his own.
Amazing.
Do any of the kids sort of talk about being an aspiring author? Have you inspired them into that?
I have had some that talk about wanting to write themselves. But I think what I have noticed is that children stay with me for years. It's not a subscription service, so you kind of join on to a book club. But I want them to keep joining again and again because they love it. And that's what's been happening, is that children just keep joining and have stayed with me for such a long time, which is lovely. So they're getting to read all different authors as well, because that's something that children struggle to do. Sometimes they find an author and they stick with that author, and to try and get them to read different books and different authors and learn about sort of different writing styles, that's quite hard to do. But because they sort of trust the books that we choose, they're quite happy to read all these different authors, which is also fantastic.
That is easy to get stuck with one author if there's someone you like. It's like the friend. We've all got one that when he goes to an Indian always has chicken tikka masala, always.
That might be me, actually.
Or korma. You know what I mean? But try something else on the menu. It's delicious. Oh no, I'll stick with what I know. But then you cut off a whole potential world. Absolutely.
So this way they're sort of reading different genres, different authors, and picking up on different techniques and different vocabulary. And it sort of really helps their critical thinking as well, as their comprehension. So all in a fun way.
Brilliant.
Fun being the key word.
Fun is number one, as someone said to me once. Bookclubbuddies.com.
Yes, that's the website where you can book on.
So how many have you got on the books at the moment, if you pardon the pun?
Sorry, how many children?
If you pardon the pun, how many have you got on the books at the moment? How many members?
How many members? About 70 at the moment.
That's fantastic.
I've got about 70. But they it is, it's really good, and it's lovely because you never know what's kind of around the corner. Different people get in touch with me. I've had different charities that are asking me now to help run book clubs with them. I'm speaking with someone in India who's looking at a lot of children that they've got that they want to run book clubs. So it's kind of really exciting, the different opportunities that sort of are coming forward. And it's, as I said, it's a really fun thing to be able to do. And to get kids excited about reading, because that's, as I said, that's what it's all about.
Who gets you excited? Who's your favourite author?
Do you know, that's a really good question. And it's not actually one I can answer. And it's one that actually I've been asked many times before. And the reason, in terms of, as a children's author, there are so many of them. I love Phil Earle. I think he's fantastic. But I don't really get time to read sort of books for myself, if you like, sort of grown-up books. Unless it's sort of maybe when I go on holiday, sometimes I try and do, bring my Kindle along, and then I'll sort of read different types of books. But children's books, I don't know. There are so many good authors. Hannah Gold's fantastic. Ross Montgomery. I mean, there are loads of them. There are just.
What about Jacqueline Wilson? I remember her. This is when my daughter was growing up. She was reading quite a lot of hers. Are you familiar with Jacqueline Wilson?
I do know Jacqueline Wilson books. I haven't actually run any of hers as book clubs. I try.
She was known as the Children's Laureate for a while, I think.
Yeah.
Going back in the day, a bit.
No, absolutely. She's written many, many books, and obviously throughout my 20 years in the classroom, I've seen her books a great deal.
But you can't really avoid it if you're in teaching. You must have come across them somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I haven't really run her books as book clubs. I try and stay clear of the sort of more, I say, popular authors, and try and promote different authors and different books that the children maybe haven't necessarily come across or know necessarily about, or aren't necessarily in the classroom, or the more popular ones that are just, you know, famous and happen to have then written a book. I try and steer clear of those authors, only because I'm just giving other authors maybe opportunities and you know, exposing children to different authors that way. So yeah.
Yes, there must be lots of authors that are looking for that opportunity. I would have thought, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So well, I spend a lot of time reading books.
It's been lovely talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much indeed for being on. bookclubbuddies.com. If you'd like to explore more. And again, you know, like Karen, thank you for the work that you're doing. I think it's really, it's just good to see someone so enthusiastic and so excited. And it takes me back to a time when, literally I would bury my nose in the book and I didn't want to get out. And it's such a good thing, and it fires up the imagination, and you learn new words, and it can open up worlds to you. It really can. You know, the joy of reading. That might sound a bit old-fashioned, but so what? It's great.
Yeah, and also the joy of communicating and talking with people. I think that's something that we've lost with our, you know, eyes down, always on a screen. But actually, to be able to talk to people, you know, and discuss things and you know, improve their oracy skills. I think that's something that's really important to be able to do, to talk and communicate with people. So yeah, thank you.
Well, good luck. I hope this spreads all around the world and you get thousands more members, and it all just keeps on growing, and keep discovering wonderful books. And maybe you never know, in 10 years' time, one of your members will be writing their own. And we'll be reviewing it on the Midday Show. Never say never.
That would be fantastic. Never say never. Absolutely. Positive attitude.
And all that.
And all that.
Lizzie Lehman, it's been lovely talking to you. Would you like the footage of this? I'm happy to send it to you if you like. If you'd like to use it for
that'd be great.
Shameless marketing purposes. Just private message me your email address, if you will.
Sure. I will do so. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being on.
And thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Lovely talking to you. You too, Karen. Thank you so much for being on. I'll just put your website back up on the screen again, www.karenwhybrow.com. That's Karen, the Sacred Life Coach. It's been a really inspiring show in so many ways today, hasn't it?
It's been brilliant. Yeah.
Been really, really good. Take care. Thank you for being on as well, Karen. And I'll send that audio footage through to you later on. As I say, please feel free to use it. And your book for the 1st of December on the Midday Show. And you can hold up, do that kind of pose.
Yeah.
We'll see you then. Take care.
Lovely. Take care, Neil. Thank you.
Good afternoon. And I can tell you that Russ and the gang will be back on Friday with Phil Dave, the king of the cravat. Friday, much more showbiz orientated on Friday. Jonathan Baz, theatre critic, going to be here telling you what the good stuff to see on stages, and there is plenty. And also Chantal Ricard's The Screen Queen, reviewing all the good stuff to watch on TV. In the meantime, I've been Neil Long. Thank you for tuning in today to the Midday Show. If you are watching the replay of this, I hope you get some good insight out of it. And if you're interested in either of our guests, you've got Karen, KarenWhybrow.com, Sacred Life Coach, and Lizzie Lehman, BookClubBuddies.com. In their own ways, two very inspiring ladies, the both of them. All the very best. Good afternoon, and take care.